Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Snort, snort, snort.
Kogan.
Drip.
Snort, snort.
I got the drip.
I'm very much looking forward to it, but just to preface all of my coverage of Street Fighter 6 this weekend and in the next few weeks and month, okay, I am not in any capacity attempting to be a competitive Street Fighter player, okay? Excuse me. I am not trying to get to a high level where I'm going to be traveling to tournaments or playing in online competitions. This is not my intention. My intention is to cover Street Fighter as a lifelong fan of the franchise, as someone who grew up in arcades in the 1990s playing this game and then eventually became a competitive player. But essentially, I enjoy the games, but I have no delusions of grandeur that I'm going to explode onto the Street Fighter scene after being away from the competitive scene for over a decade and somehow be something, you know, popular or winning matches. I don't think so, okay? If anything, what I am going to attempt to do is learn the game in some capacity to know what I'm doing, to understand the mechanics, to try to do at least half-decent gameplay for you, and to entertain you in any way. And whether that means that I actually do try to learn one or two characters and get good with them and play sets all the time, maybe once a week, or whether that means I just do silly madness sets like I used to in Street Fighter 4. Remember, I do Dan Madness and, you know, Zangief Madness, and that really was all about just fun. It wasn't about, oh, Phil's trying to seriously, you know, destroy the internet. You know, he's just trying to have a good time and mess around. With Dan, I trolled everybody. Remember, I was jumping around taunting and doing shit the whole time, and then every once in a while I would win a match and laugh my ass off because he was such a bad character. So essentially, that's what I'm going for. And I hope you're down for that. If you're here looking for high-level competitive play, you're in the wrong place. If you're looking to see Darkside Phil become a top-level player and take on all the greats online, it's not going to happen. I guarantee you, 10 times out of 10, if I play a notable player in this game, they're going to beat me. Because these guys are playing hardcore, they're trying to get competitive, they're going to go to tournaments. I don't care about that anymore. But I'm into the game from a perspective of, I love Street Fighter. I want to be a part of this new one because I've been out of the Street Fighter scene for how many years? 7, 8 years? Why? Because Street Fighter 6 sucked. Excuse me, Street Fighter 5 sucked. I hated Street Fighter 5. Since the moment the beta was released, the game was not good, okay? And it's a shame because how many more people like me are there that stayed away from Street Fighter for a good 6 to 7 year span because that game was stinky. It was bad. It was not designed to be a well-competitive game. It took them so many updates and iterations. From what I'm to understand, it took them 4 years to get it right and finally get it to like a competitive level. And it's hilarious because people in the Street Fighter community who, you know, never left, oh, you know, by the end, Street Fighter 5 was one of my favorite games. Like, by the end? That's like saying, you know, Street Fighter 2 came out and you hated it. So then you didn't play the next 5 iterations, right? Oh, no, I just kept playing it because I hated it. Like, what? That's what they've done. They became this community that, like, they basically couldn't not play the game, because if they didn't play the game, they felt their entire community would die, even though everyone admits Street Fighter 5 was not a good game now. Like, ask the greats. They're all saying the same thing. It wasn't good. We just toughed through it. Well, we finally come to the light at the end of the tunnel, hopefully, all right? So let's see how it goes. I'm hopeful that it's going to play well. I don't know. I mean, this is launch day, and from all reports, the game is definitely being slammed. Like, on PC, 65,000 plus concurrent players, the most for any fighting game ever on PC. People are having issues. They can't play custom matches. They're trying to make custom lobbies for their friends and other people. It doesn't work. Every time you try to do a custom match, you get an error or it crashes. So obviously that's not good. That's launch day stuff, right? Launch day woes. You got to hope that we're going to get good connections. Here's one of the things I'm excited for, okay? Here's what I'm very excited for. Each character in the game gets its own ranking. So what does that mean? Let's say today I decide to start playing with a particular character. I'm just going to say Ryu, even though I'm not saying I'm going to start with Ryu. Let's say I start with Ryu today. Well, I start at 0 rank. And so I'm going to play people at 0 rank who haven't played the game yet. And then after, let's say, playing with them for an hour, all of a sudden I'm ranking up. I'm starting to play better players. Okay, great. But now I've decided I want to change characters. I want to start playing with Dalsim. Well, guess what? In previous Street Fighter games, you would stay at the rank you were just at. So when you go to play again, now you're playing higher level people, even though you're trying a new character and you don't know what you're doing. Well, in this game, every character has their own individual ranking. So if you go play with Dalsim, he starts at 0. So you get to start from the bottom and learn the character instead of just getting slapped and spanked by people who are playing with their character and know what they're doing. You actually get to practice and try to learn, which is a great thing. I really didn't like that in previous Street Fighter games. Someone says there's placement matches. Yes, they had that in the beta as well. If you remember, you'll play a series of placement matches with each character. So if you don't know what you're doing and you lose a bunch, no big deal. Now you get to play against lower level people, but maybe you do know what you're doing. Maybe you've actually practiced the game, or maybe you have enough prerequisite knowledge of the game that you can actually get more wins. Then you'll start around mid tier, right? This is good. I like what they've done with this game. That's a great idea, having the separate rankings for each character, having placement matches. It's exactly what needed to happen in a game like this. Gordon Hammer with a $5 super chat says, I think this is a healthy way of approaching it, Phil. I hope you have fun with this. I know the series means a fair amount to you. I think he was directly responding to me saying the way I'm approaching the game is more of, I just want to have fun with it and make fun content for you. I'm not about being competitive. I'm just not. You know, at this point, for me to be competitive in a game like Street Fighter 6, no exaggeration, I would have had to be playing it already. Yeah, I would have already had to have been playing it, going crazy in the demo, going crazy in the betas, going to tournaments, going to offline gatherings and playing people constantly to get practice. There's just no way you can hang viably competitively in these games without an insane amount of time investment. I'm a variety content creator. I don't have that amount of time to invest in it. I mean, I'll be playing a lot of it this week and this month, but realistically, am I going to spend 50% of my gameplay time playing Street Fighter 6? I mean, that's not going to please anybody, including me, because I'll probably end up feeling burnout too. All right? I want to enjoy the game at a level where I can balance it with other things and, you know, learn it, but not master it to the point where now I need to, you know, go crazy and try to be beating a ton of people competitively online. It's not that big of a deal to me. I just want to have a good time with it. If I win or lose, as long as we have a fun match, that's all I care about. So that's what that approach I'm taking.
Go. I got the drip going. 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 I got the drip going.
It's like a faucet that's dripping. You can't make it stop.
So what do you want me to do? Have a mute button that every second I'm tapping the mute button just in case I'm gonna have to clear? Like, this is what I mean, these dumb kids. This is what it is, it's dumb kids.